If you're looking for how to hydrate while you're on your long runs and you've been looking at different belts or thinking about handhelds, then I definitely recommend you watch this video. We're going to be reviewing handheld as well as 2 different belts to determine which one is actually the best for your endurance training to stay hydrated. When you're doing endurance running, it is really important to stay hydrated. Now, usually for my short runs, which is less than 10 miles, I don't focus on any hydration. So since I haven't been doing any marathon training for a while, I got out of using my hydration belt. Now, if you're just looking for a belt that doesn't have hydration options, I have an option for you. This is my cross-face belt that I've been using for probably the past 5 years. Now, I had previously been using my marathon belt when I was training. However, it had the hydration and I didn't actually need that. I didn't need those water bottles. So I really like this one because it's really lightweight. I can fit my phone in there and my house keys in there if I'm running from the house, which I usually do. And it really stays in place very, very well. So I'm going to put a link below for this belt. And if you're looking for something that doesn't have hydration, I'd highly recommend it. It stays in place well and can hold your phone because it stretches. So no matter what size your phone is, it's going to fit. Now, handheld versus belt hydration. When I previously ran the marathon, I did belt hydration because I just felt like that was going to be easier for the weight distribution, and I'd rather carry that weight on my hips than have to hold it in my hand. However, when I did the Disney World Marathon, what I noticed is that when you got to the hydration stations, they had people who just had a water bottle, and they would fill your handheld from the water bottle. And I was thinking to myself, this would be really good because then it would be easier to put in any powders or any salt or any hydration packets that you had, as opposed to having the smaller bottles. There you go. So I tried that first because when I started training for Dopey, I really wanted to have the ability to just throw something in the water bottle, get some water from the station, and be able to move on. So I got the Run Tasty handheld, and it has this nice little strap that's really comfortable on the back. So your hand can just kind of slide in there, and it makes it really easy to hold on to it. However, here's the thing. When you fill it with water, it gets pretty heavy, so it was actually pulling down. So what I found, although it's a very comfortable strap, it was weighted so much that I actually had to hold on to it. Now, once I was holding on to it, it increased the tension through my hand, through my arm, and up into my shoulder, which was throwing off my gait pattern. So I wasn't able to get that normal arm swing. Now, this is me personally, you may be different, but I wasn't able to get that normal arm swing, and it felt harder to complete the miles. So although I liked the idea of having that bigger water bottle and being able to fill it easily, I realized this was not going to work for me, which then led me to the Run Tasty belt. Now, the thing I really liked about this particular belt is that it has this clear pocket in the front in order to hold your cell phone, which makes it easier if you're going to fiddle with your cell phone while you're running. And I thought, well, that was really good because I'm going to be messing with my cell phone while I'm running 26.2 miles. So it'd be nice to have a convenient pocket to get to it. Here's the problem with this belt. It doesn't stay in place. So on my long runs, if I don't readjust it during my run, it migrates and turns around my body, which is just not really convenient and not really helpful when you're running 26.2 miles. The other thing about the Run Tasty water bottles in particular, I initially liked the fact that they have this top that clicks into place because then you won't get that sloshing and spilling. However, when you undo it, it's a little loose. And so when you try to drink out of it, it's trying to close on you. So that didn't work very well either. And I'm not one who really likes to squeeze into it. I like to kind of sip off of it. So I found that the Run Tasty belt did not work for me because it didn't stay in place and the water bottles kept closing when I was trying to drink on it, which took me back to the belt that I trained in with my marathon. Although a new one because that one got pretty worn out. And that's the Fitletic belt. What I really like about this belt from the marathon training is that it has these stickies that really stay in place when you're running. And the other thing I like is that the cap doesn't move, and so it's really easy to be able to sip out of while I'm running. The downside is these bottles are a little bit smaller, so I will have to consider that as I'm considering my options for hydration and how I'm going to manage that. I will say during the marathon that although I did refill those water bottles regularly, I did not add any electrolyte solution to them. And I'm going to change that for the next marathon because that ended up being a big problem, but we'll discuss that story more in the hydration video. So which one is best for you, handheld versus belt? It really comes down to where can you handle the weight the easiest. For me, it's definitely on my waist because it's easier to manage that weight from side to side, and my legs obviously are stronger than my arms. For me, doing the handheld was really a problem because I got so much tension through that hand. Now, mind you, even with the handheld, I moved it from side to side, but I was moving it pretty regularly, and it just got to be more annoying than anything else. I have links to all these products in the description down below if you want to go check them out on Amazon. And I would love to hear your opinion in this great debate. Which one works better for you, handheld versus belt, when you're looking for hydration for your long distance endurance activity or the Dopey challenge?